Welcome to Backstage with Kennedy. This little show will be your remedy. From Toronto, spanning across the sea. Cool people, lots of laughs. This is your favorite podcast. Yeah.
Hello and welcome. My name's Kennedy from the Backstage with Kennedy podcast. I got a guest who's been on the podcast before, one of my favorite episodes actually, and I'm happy to have him back. My friend Cactus Vella, super excited. He's got some exciting stuff that he's been working on recently. So, you know what? We're going to jump into that. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about what's going on in Cactus's life these days, and yeah, I'm super excited. How you doing today, brother?
I'm really good. Thank you very much. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. So, yeah, how have you been holding up? I mean, we spoke like during the lockdown. It was like during quarantine. And we were both in the city of Toronto, but we were close together, but we felt far away, I guess. How's it being now? How are you doing?
Yeah, so we spoke about a little over a year ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing okay, man. Like, it's been business as usual the whole entire time. Like, work never stopped. My work and my wife's work, we both got busier actually, and working from home, and it's been good. It's been challenging at times, but I mean, I'm not going to complain, because I've stayed employed the whole time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to be getting out more now. Like, I've been to a couple of gigs and I've been to a couple of bars, and like that's been fantastic. Sorely missed.
Yeah, no, I feel that, man. It's been one of those feelings, I think, going back into seeing just going into a bar and being like, oh man, I miss this. It's like that final puzzle piece being attached back into life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. So, Cactus, you like Rancid, I guess, eh?
Yeah, I like Rancid.
Okay. So I was suspecting that because you do have a project that you've been working on right now. And it's a Rancid tribute project. Can you tell the people who don't know about this a little bit about this and what to expect, I guess?
Sure, yeah, okay. I guess a little history. I did one of these a few years ago. I did an acoustic punk tribute to Bruce Springsteen. I had about 8 people, Canadians, that I'd met just on the road and doing the acoustic show scene with, and we did this tribute comp to Bruce Springsteen. It was a lot of fun, and I kept on thinking, I'm like, I want to do more of this. So then, yeah, we're doing Rancid now. We got 20 artists, singers, and bands on it. Everyone did their take of a Rancid song acoustically. There's no electric guitars, which is really cool, and it's really awesome. And it just came about very organically. Actually, I was always meaning to do another tribute. I didn't know who to do it on, and I would come up with ideas every now and then. And then I was communicating with my buddy Ty, who's on the comp, and I have a few songs I've recorded recently, and he has a few. We were talking about doing a split. And then I was just picking his brain about like, what about a comp, this and that. And then he mentioned that he had a Rancid cover he was working on, asked me if I still had a Rancid cover in my set. I said, yeah. And then we started joking around. And then before I knew it, I just started reaching out to people. I just made a generic message, started sending it to a whole bunch of people that I would have liked I wanted to work with. Mm-hmm. And then recommendations started coming in. Then I started thinking about like, I got to get more people on this. And yeah, it just came about really well. Set a deadline, asked everyone to submit their song by a certain point. And yeah, it's all worked out really, really cool. I can't wait for people to hear it.
Yeah, the one thing me, Cactus, I love Canadian music. Like, yeah. This is my thing. And I feel that you have the same idea behind it. Like, you love Canadian music because everybody on this project is all Canadian musicians. And man, the community of it is so damn good. I'm looking at some of the people on that list. I mean, I've started talking to, over the last 2 years, Emily Bones, Valerie Knox, Mikey Hodden, Chuck Coles is my bud. Like, there's so many people on this that I'm just like, Wow, this is really cool. And it really gives me a feeling of there was one time I went to a acoustic show,
Right.
and it was a couple Canadian artists, one of which was Emily Bones and one of which was Mikey Hodden. And it was like an acoustic circle, and they basically just switched doing cover songs and acoustic songs. And it kind of gives me that same vibe, that acoustic singer-songwriter circle vibe. And I love it, dude. I think that's so good for the scene to all be on, like, showcasing all the talent through a band that everybody loves so much.
Totally. Yeah, I agree 100%. And like, yeah, like you said, some of those names like Emily and Chuck, they were like easy like choices. I'm like, oh, got to contact those, right? And then some people I tried to push people out of their comfort zone, like Valerie as well from Anti Queens. She's not known for doing the acoustic thing.
Hmm.
So I was like, Val, do you want to do a song? And and like Cindy, who is a drummer by nature. Cindy was a drummer in Plan 37 that I was in, and she was in the Unbelievers for years. She's a drummer, but I know she can play guitar and I know she likes to sing. So I was like, can you get yourself in the studio? Can you do this? And like I pushed her and she did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been pretty cool trying to like just bringing this out of some people.
That's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I listened to it and I was blown away. I know it hasn't really come out yet. Um, can you let people know when they should be expecting it and where they can find it?
Yeah, so it will be a free download and stream on Bandcamp on Monday, November 15th. So in just under 2 weeks.
That's exciting, dude. That's exciting.
Yeah.
You were pretty busy during the last, I'd say, a year, really, with I guess this. I'm sure you have other stuff up your sleeve, knowing you, and then your last EP as well. Do you find that being creative has kind of kept you sane and kept you really going these days?
Yeah, but it's been a challenge to find time to do these things or to finish them. Right. So I have a lot of things on the go. I always have projects on the go. I think I drive my wife crazy with how many things I take on or assign to myself. Right. So I've actually been making music with my kid. I don't know if you've heard
Yeah.
Glitter Sparkles. We have a little band, and she just makes up these songs. Like she'll come up to me and she'll be like, "Daddy, let's jam and record." And like I have a studio set up all the time in the basement, so I'll just open up the app, hit record, and I'll just make up a riff on the keyboard on the spot and give her a mic and just let her sing and freestyle for a while. And then I just start cutting it up later on and like adding some instruments and like, she's got it all for me. Like I'll be like, oh shit, that's the verse. There's the choruses. Like she's pretty good. So we've been doing that when we have some time.
That's awesome, man. You're building a musician right there.
Yeah, we're definitely making memories. And and I got a bunch of Cactus songs that are half done. Like I have a lot of recordings, and then I've been doing like full band recordings as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I have like a lot of songs, a lot of punk rock songs I've written and recorded. Yeah, got some shit happening.
What obviously this is a Rancid compilation. What is your favorite Rancid song?
Oh, I can't answer that, man.
It's the toughest thing.
Yeah. Like I went with Olympia because that's the song that I had been covering for a few years. But like, yeah, I mean, I don't have one favorite. I couldn't do it, man.
Absolutely, I get that. I dig Rancid. I wouldn't say they're like my favorite band by any means. Like I really do dig them though. Yeah. And if you told me for like one of my favorite bands, like you have to pick one, I'd be like, get lost.
I don't think people think of me as being a diehard Rancid fan. I think when anyone that knows me that thinks Cactus, they probably think right here, Leatherface.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rancid's always been one of my favorites. I've been a fan of theirs since day one. Literally, I think it was like around 1992. I remember walking into the old record peddler on Yonge Street, and I was pretty young then, and I knew the staples. I knew my Bad Religions and my Black Flags and stuff. But I would talk to the staff all the time and tell them what I like and take their recommendations, and I would give them my money, like, and trust them and that they were steering me in the right direction. And I remember talking to one of the staff members. It was probably Adam Sewell, and we were talking. And I was telling him about how much I love Lookout Records, and Operation Ivy, and he was like, "Have you heard Rancid?" And I was like, "What's that?" And he's like, "It's the new post Operation Ivy band. It's two of them. It's on Lookout Records. There's an EP, and I bought it. It's this one right here." And
Oh, sick.
yeah, and like, you know, took it home, and it was awesome. It was like, it's punk rock, it's a bit of hardcore, it's got that, definitely got Tim sound, it's definitely got the Matt sound. Yeah, so I've been a fan of theirs from day one, and they lend themselves to the acoustic genre very nicely. A lot of open chords, a lot of sing-along melody parts. Lyrically, it's rebellious, it's working class, it's poetic, and it lends itself again to like folk country. It's rebel music, so it works on acoustic guitar really nicely, and so it was an easy one.
That's what I was thinking when I was listening to it as well. Actually, I was like, listening to some of those covers, it almost felt like some of them should have been acoustic. I was like, wow, that works extremely well. What have you reached out to Rancid at all, being like, hey, I'm doing this? Like, are they aware of this project? Because you know what, the punk scene, like, though it's a big scene and there is like these real big powerhouses and stuff, I feel like it's a pretty welcoming community where people are like, hey, that's pretty cool. Have you reached out to them at all about it?
Yeah, it's a little. I've reached out. I've not heard back.
Okay.
Reached out after their blessing and letting them know what I was doing, and made it perfectly clear that no money is being exchanged and no one is profiting off these songs. Like that's why it's a free download.
It's a tribute.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I reached out, but I mean they're probably like, I couldn't imagine what their inbox on LinkedIn, sorry, on Instagram looks like. You know, it just must be ridiculous.
Oh yeah. I mean, you message someone and they when you get guys that level and stuff, you can send them a message and they may not see it for a month. You know what I mean? And you can't take that personal, that's for sure, because it's insanity. It's insanity. But who knows? Maybe when it comes out, maybe it'll get around to them, and I really hope it does, because from what I've heard, it's an incredible project, and I was really amped to listen to it, and amped to see so many great people, like not just great musicians, but great people on that lineup as well.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm really happy with. I mean, I asked almost twice as many people. Right? There was there's a small handful of people who just weren't really good at returning messages, and they're musicians.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, how do you just stop returning a message? How do you even get shit done in your life? Like, to out of a conversation midway through. It's like, that's weird, you know? And then there was a few people that were like, I'm too busy. I don't have time for this. And that's cool. I've never understood that personally. And it's no slight at anyone that said they were too busy, but I'm like, as a musician, someone asks you to record and be a part of a project, like
I'm finding time. Yeah.
Yeah. Make time, right? Like, especially if it's up your alley. I could understand if like, it was like, I'm not even into that genre or that band or whatever, but like, when a punk rocker who likes Rancid gets asked to play a Rancid song when they can't find time to do it. Yeah. It's a little weird, right? But you know what? The list, the 20 people that are on this, stellar. I'm so happy with it. Everyone, like, I'm still listening to it and being blown away by what some people submitted, you know, like, and some of it was just like, okay, like the matchup, right? From St. Taurice, Quebec. And like, you know, they like, as soon as I heard that song, I'm like, well, that's the opening track, easily, right? And then same thing with Chris from Talk Show Host. I heard that and I was like, well, there's my closer. Yeah, like, such a perfect song to end the comp on, right?
Did they pick the songs that they wanted to play, or did you say, hey, this is your song?
Oh no, they picked. So I would basically send everyone. Every time somebody would pick a song, I would add it to a list and then update that list and send it to everyone and say, don't choose these ones. Like, so I always had a list of selected songs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but everyone chose whatever they wanted. I'm not going to tell people what to play.
No, exactly. Very nice. The talk show host, man, so good.
Great band, eh?
So good. They weren't really on my radar.
Right.
And I think it was probably a month ago. I was sitting at the bar with my buddy Greg Larenier, and he's like, you have to reach out to Talk Show Host about the podcast, man. You got to do it. You got to check out their music. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to them. And I listened to them. I was like, Holy crap. They are so good. So
Yeah.
good. So what a way to finish out your project with such a big hitter like that.
Totally, and like what you're saying about talk shows, I think it was pretty universal. I think they were a sleeper band for a lot of people. Like I met them, I don't know when, like 6 years ago, 7 years ago when I joined Plan 37, and they were sharing a jam room with them, and then both bands moved into my jam space, and I met talk show hosts, and then I saw them play a few times, and I was always like, yeah, it's cool. And they played a lot of gigs and they went on the road and they kept on recording and releasing like songs and stuff. And then I don't know when it was in the last few years, all of a sudden they're putting out these great music videos, and their songwriting just gets better, and their recording production gets better too. And they're on fire right now. They're great. They're really good at what they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you know what, Cactus? You know me, man. I don't like to take up too much of your time with these episodes, dude. Again, thank you so much for coming on, dude. And I hope to see you soon. I know that I've got my show coming up, and I'd love to see you there so that we can have a drink together, or even just hang out and celebrate. Not just celebrate my 80th episode, but also celebrate this new project that you're releasing, man. I'm very excited to get this promoted for you. And yeah, I'm really excited for the people to hear it, man.
Oh, thank you very, very much. And yeah, your show coming up, I'm really excited about it. If I told you already a couple of days ago, if I'm not out of town, I'll show up with 6 strings and play a song.
You're the man. You're the man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Cactus. Thanks, brother.
Thank you for your time, man. Take care.
Take care, dude.
Bye.
Welcome to Backstage with Kennedy.